Welcome, Jamie. How are you? How are you? How are you? I'm so excited to see you today. Good.
Thanks.
Good.
It's nice to be here.
I'm Lori Swanson, CEO and founder of Inspire Tech, and I am super excited to have Jamie Nelson here. She will be our next Unstoppable guest on August 13th, Saturday, August 13th, 9 a.m. Central Time. And you can go to our website, inspiretech.com, to register. There will also be details in different places to get you easily registered for the event. It is free, and we do it almost every month, except for July and December, where we take time to play and restore. But in August, Jamie is here, and our topic is a fabulous topic based off of the book by Paul Lencioni called The Ideal Team Player. And we're not going to give away too many details in this chat, but Jamie's going to be bringing us some really good insights. It's interactive, so you'll have our guests and everyone who attends will have an opportunity to answer questions and give their input and all of that. So I'm excited about it, and I think because I'm such a consummate learner, to continue to improve myself and especially to be a better team player sounds right up my alley, and why the heck not, you know?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So for today's chat, I'm doing what we call the Unstoppable 5. So I'm just going to ask you 5 questions, and you know, and this is no surprise to you because I talked to you about it ahead of time, so you wouldn't be like, what? But I'm just going to go through these questions and looking forward to hearing these answers. For me, it's really about giving an opportunity for the audience that are considering coming to learn a little bit about you and a little bit of a taste more about the topic. So are you ready?
Sure.
All right, let's just start with question number 1. What is one thing that makes you feel unstoppable?
Empathy.
Empathy.
Putting myself in someone else's shoes and trying to look at it from their perspective. We all have different perspectives, and so I'm not perfect at it, wish I was, but certainly trying to understand where someone else is coming from when they're having either a bad reaction to a decision made or something like that, or not feeling like they're fully engaging in what we're working on.
Yeah, and that's so central to who you are. You are the senior manager of people programs for EPAM Systems. So the concern for others is just, I think, sort of innate to you. And so, but wow, empathy. I mean, there's nothing better than that. So thank you. Now, can you tell me a short story, question number 2, where you had to dig into your unstoppable self in order to move forward at some point in your career or your life?
Yes, we made a decision a few years ago to try a new adventure for our family and move. And it took 9 long months to find a job.
Wow.
So you have to really, look at your skills, figure out, who else you can connect with, really put yourself out there, right? Like you pretty much have to go, no matter how I'm feeling today, I have to go show up as best I can at these events. I think the other thing though is you also have to have the grace with yourself to say that I need to take today off. It's not a great day, and it's okay to sit and eat that carton of ice cream and binge watch something. Like there's a balance between recognizing that you need to cut yourself some slack and the ability to dig deep and say, as hard as this is to go do, I'm going to go do it. Because I just don't know who I might meet, right? It's all about building those connections when you do. So
I mean, I think sometimes it is a bit of a mind game, to say, who knows who I might meet, I might meet at this event, and that's what gets me up. And I think it's absolutely women who are unstoppable begin to recognize that there's time for action and there's time for rest.
Yeah.
And when you can really allow yourself, because action we can do, you know?
Oh yeah, it was, and when I really kind of forced myself to slow down, I tripped and fell and broke my elbow. So on my right elbow, no less. So when you're right-handed, that is a really hard thing to cope with. So it kind of forced me a little bit to take it slow for a month. I just couldn't do as much. And it was after that things kind of pivoted, and I found a job.
Right.
So I think there's kind of that you can almost go too hard, right?
Yep.
And people start sensing your desperation, whether you mean for them or not.
Yep. And
or
isn't
you
it
go in
funny
with-
how the universe supports you to non-action by breaking your elbow?
Did not need to go that far, but
Right.
you know,
You
so
know,
that's
but
what it did.
lesson learned that actually by going less hard, your things started to fall together, and you found the job. So, oh, that's awesome. So question number 4.
Are we skipping 3?
No, we're going right backwards to 3. I'm like, wait a second, did I ask 3 yet? I did not. So what is the one action you take to get into an unstoppable mindset?
I probably use Mel Robbins, count backwards from 5 and just go, right? Like you have to just kind of take that deep breath and say it will be worth taking that step.
I love that. You know, that Mel Robbins advice is gold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Stop thinking about it. Stop analyzing it. I work with a lot of women in technology where analyzing things and being process focused is like their superpower, but can also analysis, you know, paralysis. And so Mel Robbins, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just do it. You know, is excellent
Sometimes
advice.
You just have to leap.
Excellent
and
advice.
Trust.
Excellent. So, okay, now number 4, and no better than number 3. Just as good.
I know. I was just curious.
What's the most unstoppable career advice that you have in 3 words, if you can?
3 words. Self-care. Can I count that as 1?
Hyphenated words count as 1.
Okay, so I would say self-care, proactive, and taking it, being open.
Being open. So self-care, being proactive, and being open.
Yeah.
I love those too. I mean, again, we're sort of back to, you know, when you talk about self-care is it's time to rest, and you talk about proactive, it's time to act, and then just being open to what's the right thing for me right now.
Yeah.
Is it to rest or is it to act, you know, and is it, you know, to respond to that email, or is it to just grab my daughter and go for a walk? You know, what is it?
Right. And also when I think about being open is if you're open to opportunity, you may stumble into something you never realized how much you would love doing. So when you get so hyper focused on this is my only career path, this is the only thing I'm good in, you may be missing some really good opportunities that will lead you in a whole different direction and open even more doors for you.
Yes, yes, and yes to that. So finally, Jamie, this last question is always specific to the topic that we're going to be discussing on Saturday, August 13th, 9 a.m. here on Zoom. We'll all meet here on Zoom. And because our topic is based off of the book by Paul Lencioni, The Ideal Team Player, my question to you is, how would you suggest someone cultivates an unstoppable team? And I know there's probably lots of answers to that, but, you know, maybe, you know, one key idea.
So I think it's getting to know your team members. So remembering that Joan's daughter's name is Naomi, or that Paul's wife just had surgery, or checking in when someone gets back from vacation and seeing how they're doing. Do they have any questions? So it's that if you get to know your team players, I think you have a better opportunity of truly understanding what they're good at and where they could use coaching, because we're encouraged to bring our whole self to work, right? And if you don't know that other person's whole self, can't remember their spouse's name, if you have 45 people reporting to you, you may have to take notes, right? But
right. And that's okay.
And that is absolutely fine. However, you need to do it when you have that many people reporting to you. Like, when you have 2 people, it's not a big deal. But if you have a larger team, you may need to take some notes, because a lot of times, I'm thinking of Dale Carnegie now, like, who used to do that training with him, and he'd be like, so connect, Jamie with pajama. And then, she likes purple. So when you see Jamie, you think of purple pajamas, and then you remember Jamie, kind of deal. So whatever tricks you need to use to remember that. But I think treating people like people, and getting to know at least a little bit of detail about their personal life really helps you build a team, and then the flip side of that is you have to be willing to say, oh yeah, my husband played a fantastic round of golf this weekend, or I'm taking 2 hours because my daughter tripped and fell and I need to take her to PT. So it's also you sharing that you need to be able to do those things if you are in a work environment where you can do those.
For sure. And full circle back to empathy. We've all, I'm sure, experienced that person that you're like, oh my gosh, we've met 4 times and you don't even know my name, or that I work in this department, or that this is, so, and so I like the idea of, even if it's at a networking event, get into your car and then make notes. Oh, I met this person, because it does go away. And then again, full circle back to empathy and putting yourself in their shoes. And, like, how do I feel when someone remembers that my daughter fell 2 weeks ago and I had to take her to the emergency room, and they ask about it? Thank you for remembering. Thank you for caring. And that just makes the connection to the work, takes it into another level, and it becomes really about, human beings working together to create something for this company, but also that we are not just cogs in a wheel.
Right, because I can teach you how to do certain things, but I cannot teach you those things as easily. So to me, that's why it's so critical. Like, I can teach you how our company does a process.
Right.
And you can absolutely learn how to be more empathetic, even if that's not your natural state of mind. And a lot of that is just being aware and figuring out what your tools in your toolbox need to be, to use a cliche, right?
Right.
Or at least an older cliche. So that, you, even if it's not like your strong suit, you can at least convey, but again, you have to be sincere. You can't just be reading it off thing.
Right. But however you start. And I think, and you gave us a really good tip in that take notes. If you are someone where those sorts of details, like I've been a recruiter for 25 years. I can tell you, if someone says, oh, so-and-so's, so-and-so's name, I can tell you where they work, all kinds of things. But if you had told me all that other detail and I had to come up with a name, I'm not so great at that. So I have to practice. Like when I go to networking events, the Dale Carnegie, oh, Jane. Oh, okay. Her name is Jane. G.I. Jane. She was wearing army green. I will remember G.I. Jane,
Yeah.
Her name is Jane. And so coming up with those little tricks, absolutely. With the bigger goal, with this, that I want to connect to you.
Right.
You matter to me, that working together on a team where we are bringing our whole selves and connecting that way makes every day more enjoyable. And honestly, I believe makes the work that much better.
Well, and I think with how much we rely now on this form of communication, learning and doing some of those, tips help because, you don't have actually, accidentally pass someone in the hallway and hear them say something anymore for the majority of us.
Yeah.
There are people who are going in, but if you don't have that kind of work environment and you're doing it mainly remotely, I think, spending a couple minutes at the start of every call and just chit-chatting is always beneficial.
Yeah. And point taken, that
Yeah.
we are working differently now. So
Mhm.
how do you connect when you don't, stand by the water cooler and
Yeah.
or meet in the, in the lunchroom? And so being proactive and saying this is a priority to me, and I'm going to share a little bit of myself, as you said, and which creates an opening for others to share of themselves.
Mhm.
So this is great, Jamie. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
cannot wait to continue to learn more about being an ideal team player at our Saturday, August 13th Unstoppable. And, I am ever grateful to you for sharing your time and your expertise with our community, and coming on today and being and answering the unstoppable five. So thank
It's
you.
been a
Thank you.
pleasure. Thank you for
Yeah.
doing this. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.